Saturday, I decided to donate the day to art. It was a perfect day for me, one I would like to have all the time. I painted this picture from a sketch based on the lyrics of the Beatles song, "It's All Too Much." The lyrics went, "Floating down the stream of time, of life to life with me, set me on the silver sun, for I know that I am free." The song came from the album Yellow Submarine by George Harrison. The original sketch was an illustration of the song, and I was told that it would work as a painting. I spent the morning and most of the afternoon on the picture. It was relaxing and also reassuring in that this is a skill which is mine. This is a skill that I can use and develop. If I get it wrong, then hopefully I will learn from the mistakes and move on. It's also perfect for me in knowing that my art can please and delight people, well, most of the time. And if I continue with it for as long as I can, then it will not only be a perfect day for me, but also a perfect life.
Hello, I have loads of perfect days, and for me the definition is to do what you want to do, to relax, be happy and have friends. So anything with those ingredients is a perfect day. The one I'm choosing today is Friday, May the 8th, 2020, which was in the first lockdown. I woke up at 5:30 as usual, read the paper in bed and up at 7, hung the washing out, which dried out in no time because it was red hot weather. Wrote a letter to Troy, who was one of the 6 prisoners I write to in America on death row. Then I went for a 1-hour bike ride because we were allowed out at long last for that. Came home, cooked 7 vegetables for the dinner. Then at 2 o'clock, this was the highlight, we had a street party for the VE Day, Victory Over Europe, for 75 years. And everyone sat in their own gardens, because of course we were not supposed to go near each other. We shared our food, and one man had music blaring from his car radio with 1940s dance music, which was absolutely fabulous. The little children were running across the road with no worry because there was no traffic, and it was absolute heaven. Then at 4 o'clock, I cycled down to the local fish and chip shop and came back with 5 lots of fish and chips, which we then shared. And then we all dispersed, and that was the end. And end of a perfect day.
Hello. Well, I haven't had much time to plan a whole day, but what I've done is sort of little things that go through the day that I remember which were the best of all. So, waking up in the morning, I think the best thing of waking up in the morning is when you've gone on holiday and you've gone to, and not having a car or even a train or anything. So all the palaver, and you wake up and you're actually where you should be. And that's lovely. And you can go down to breakfast. That's one of my big treats, not to have to get breakfast. Breakfast would consist of nice warm croissant and scrambled egg on toast and beautiful coffee. And I'm quite happy then to sort of set out. One of the nicest mornings would be, as it's fresh, to go to my very favourite place in the whole wide world, which is looking at the Parthenon in Athens. I did that a few years ago. There's a certain rock you can sit on and you can just see it in front of you. I can do it now. And it's so peaceful, and everybody else there is thinking this is the best place in all the world. So that's the morning sorted out. Lunchtime, I'd probably go to anywhere really that's a nice cafe. I'm really keen on cafes. And I do know one which is by the sea, and it's beautiful, it's quiet, and the sea just almost gets your feet, but not quite. So that would be nice. And again, fish and chips, as you say, my favourite. So we're down to lunchtime. Now we move about a bit now. In the afternoon, ever since I've been 7, I've gone for my holiday to a little beach hut down in Somerset, which now my children own. We owned it and now we give it to them. And it's practically on the beach. And then there's a wood behind it, and behind that there's Exmoor. So it is wonderful. And for the afternoon, to just sit on a deck chair and gaze at the sea. And there's an extra bit of loveliness now, because we planted the ashes of my husband under an olive tree just on the other side of the chalet. So I can think of him there, it's great. And then we're down to tea time. Well, being in Somerset, what can you beat with a cream tea? And I have some friends down there who shouted at me when I had my first cream tea with them, because, you'll have heard of this, I put the jam on and then the cream. And suddenly, they say, Lynn! And I thought, what's happened? And apparently I should have done it the other way around. I said, that's no good. You know, this won't work. But anyway, it depends whether you're in Somerset or Cornwall. So that's tea time. Then I moved back home now, I think, in the evening. I moved bedrooms 2 or 3 years ago. And when I went to bed one night and drew the curtains back, there was a full moon shining over, I live by the river, shining on the river, shining into my bedroom. I thought, well, we can't beat that. So I got into bed, which I have never slept in much before, and it's very, very comfy, and snuggled up. And I've got, I'm telling people, these wonderful hot water bottles, which are not hot water bottles. You put them in the microwave. I don't know if you've got them, but they're very warm and they stay warm all night. And they're very cozy. You put the feet on, and then you just go to sleep. So that would be my perfect day.
Hello, I'm Diana. My perfect day would actually commence the night before at 1 minute past midnight and lull me into a deep, uninterrupted sleep. I'm a very poor sleeper, so I would enjoy that. This would take place in a small, comfortable hotel on the coast with a fantastic view of the sea. After breakfast of fruit juice, a banana and croissant, I would walk to the beach for a paddle and play with the local dogs. I would then lie in the sun in a deck chair for a couple of hours reading the Yorkshire Post. I'm mad on the Yorkshire Post. After this, I would find a nice homely cafe for a hot chocolate and a couple of sausage rolls for lunch. After walking around town, it could be Staithes, Robin Hood's Bay, or Slides, or even Filey, where I regularly holidayed as a child. I'd wander in and out of all the art and craft shops, antique shops, and anything else of interest. I'd then return to the hotel for a bath, a change of clothes, and I'd wander into the lounge for a chat with other guests. I'd select another lady of approximately my own vintage and invite myself to have dinner with her. It's just no fun having dinner by yourself. If she is agreeable, that would be fine. If not, maybe I'd join a family. My choice of menu, if these items were available, would be as an entree, a fish pie, hopefully caught the same day, with several pieces of lemon and some tartare sauce. The main course would be shepherd's pie with lashings of mashed potato, spinach, cauliflower, mushroom, and beans. My dessert would be my favorite choice of apple crumble, ice cream, and cream. All this would be washed down with a coffee liqueur, another favorite of mine. I would then return to the lounge to read the latest magazines, watch the 10 o'clock news, and retire to my room for another good night's sleep. Bonne nuit. This would be my perfect day, all 24 hours of it, as I don't like wasting time.
My perfect day would be waking up in the morning with my rescue cat on the bed next to me. And it would be a Christmas day, I'm thinking, where we'd all get together as a family with no arguments and all probably sing after our meal, put the guitar out and have a sing-song and have a cognac maybe. And yeah, just have a really pleasant day with the family and people that I love.
So my perfect day, it's very difficult because there's so many to choose from. I'm going to go with this one, which is I wake up in the tent on a beautiful sunny morning, go for a lovely long cycle ride, either along a river or through countryside where there are lakes or a coastline where you can get off your bike every so often and have a quick skinny dip to cool down. And keep going, keep cycling till the end of the day, and then end up somewhere, maybe not on a campsite now, but somewhere where there's a lovely bath. And a bath, I can sit in the bath and read my book, but a bath that the water never gets cold, so somehow the casing will have to be heated. And then in the evening, go for a lovely meal with some of my best friends. That would be my perfect day. That's on a personal level. On a global level, I would like, obviously, international peace and there to be no racism, and we lose the word disability because society will change so that anything that's considered disability is actually an ability. And for all of the world to be able to communicate in their own spoken language, their native spoken language, but also their native sign language.
It would be when I was about 9 years old and Easter Saturday at my grandparents' house. The usually fairly quiet house had been spring cleaned and polished. Gradually, aunts, uncles and cousins would arrive from York, Birmingham and further afield. So there was a house full of company and children to talk to and play with. We invented imaginary stories and games, played battleships and jacks, swapped stamps and listened to the adults talking. We went for a walk along the beach or promenade and dodged the waves. We lined up our Easter eggs and put our initials on them. There would be meals around my grandma's table, and in the evening, we would be allowed to stay up and go to the Easter vigil at church, which was quite exciting for us at that age. Then we would sleep on a fold-up bed in the sitting room and talk late into the night. Looking back now, though very ordinary, it seems like a perfect day.
When Sue gave me the name of the special day today, I wondered what I thought, what can I think of? Oh, I know. I wanted to be involved with friends. I wanted music, and I wanted to be at a lake. I'll take you back in time because when I was just a child, we rented a cabin in Ontario, just outside of Manitoba and Winnipeg, where I was born. And I grew up there, learned how to swim, learned how to dive. And in 1954, my dad and my uncle built a very basic new cabin. It had no electricity, and that's where I grew up as a teenager, and this water skiing, etc. So I decided that was the lake part, which made me think of where I would like to be now, today. So I had been to this lake house
3 or 4 times, but unfortunately it's very far away. But I wanted to take 2 special friends and Sue, of course, and we would have to use green energy to fly from Manchester to Vancouver and then go through to North Vancouver and get a ferry to Vancouver Island. And there, that lake house, that's where it is. So we would go on a flight and of course be very tired afterwards. We would be met at the ferry and and then we'd be transported to the cabin, the cottage or the house. It is a house. And it's a 2-tiered house. It is absolutely beautiful. It has 3 bedrooms on the main floor and 4 in the basement area, which is, again, the beautiful sights of the water. We would arrive at very late at night, so we'd all go and have a sleep and wake up in the morning. Breakfast was anything you wanted. It was all supplied there. Magic, that's magic. We could have what we wanted. And then maybe a lovely walk in the woods and then down to the lake. That would be lovely. Lunch would be whatever people wanted, they'd get their own. And then in the afternoon, we would take the canoes and go along the lake, 2 in each canoe, and have a ball wandering around. And of course, it's not tidal, so there's no rip tides around here. It's wonderful. And then dinner, we would my choice is to put potatoes and carrots and onions in a tin foil, put it right on the barbecue and have 2 lots of them. And then have skewers of peppers and mushrooms, and then do some full roast veg. So we'd all tuck in. It would be absolutely lovely to be fed and also to have it supplied for you. And then in the evening, this is where the fun starts. The music comes. I have a very eclectic choice of music. I do like some opera arias. I like Bette Midler, Enya, Dire Straits, John Denver, ABBA, of course, Simon Garfunkel. So that's what I would take with me to this special place. And then we would all dance, maybe jive together, but do your own thing, whatever you felt like doing, dancing to the music, and that would be perfect. We'd all go to be at bed probably very late, and the next morning after the day is finished, we'd be transported back to from the island to the mainland and then fly home. So it is magic, but hopefully it would be green energy that would take us to my favorite spot.
My name is Julie. My perfect day would be waking up, feeling refreshed after a good night's sleep, having a nice breakfast, a croissant, and a drink of juice. I only drink tap water or blackcurrant juice. I would love to sleep in a double bed because I'm so used to sleeping in a single bed. A lovely comfortable bed would be perfect. Then I would listen to the radio and enjoy singing some songs. For lunch, I would love to have somebody pay for a dinner for me instead of me paying it for it myself when I get my dinners delivered. Afternoon, I would just enjoy myself and get things done, and I'll generally have a day when I don't have to do much housework and just not stress about things and going online and not having any technical issues. And then I don't know what I would have for my tea, but in the evening I'd like to chill out and watch a Disney film. I want to watch a lot more Disney films after my family went to Disneyland Paris end of last summer. My perfect day that really did happen was a lot of years ago. I had a rail card and I used to go travelling by train. And one day I went to Bradford, West Yorkshire, and I met up with male friend, and we stood outside a hotel near the railway station, and we met a couple of pop groups, and I really liked it because the hotel that they were staying at was just across the road from the venue that they were going to be performing at in the evening. I wasn't planning on seeing the show, and I didn't see the show, but it was nice to be able to stand outside the hotel and meet the pop groups. But I only got to meet one of the pop groups, and I went into the reception area to meet them, and it was a nice, relaxed time meeting them. And I've been a fan of the pop group for a lot of years. I've only been to one of their concerts, but I've been a big fan of theirs for a big amount of years. And it would be nice to see another concert of theirs one day. And I think that's it from me.
This is going to be a perfect day, but first of all, I have to sort out the world's problems. So now you've had it now. First thing, all the weapons of the world are going to rebound on the person who fires them, or stabs them, or nuclear bombs them. They're all going to rebound, or shoots an arrow, or whatever the heck. And it's going to be known as Sue's boomerang principle. So that is going to stop all wars immediately, because you'll be killing yourself. Right, so that sorts that out. Now, climate change. I need to sort out this, so I need a bit of magic, a bit more magic. Okay, this time I'm going to speak to Gaia, the world spirit, and she is going to lock down fossil fuels. You're going to have a lockdown of fossil fuels across the world. That's it. End of anything that is going to cause global warming. So that means they'll have to, all the governments of the world will have to invest in green energy, you know, solar and wind and tides and sea and everything. And it's only going to be solar, sustainable energy, green energy. So that'll be good. Right, having sorted that out, the next thing I need to sort out is the inequality, the rich and the poor. So I can't be doing with that anymore. We're going to actually, I can't use my other hand, we're going to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor by whatever means, and so that everybody has an ample sufficiency. I don't think you need more than an ample sufficiency. And so that's it. And I think you'll have to do it through ethical means. I think we'll have to wise up. I think the human species will have to wise up to the fact that it's in everybody's best interests that everybody has an ample sufficiency. So that'll have to be a bit more magic. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, then the other thing is we need to be kind to animals. So they are sentient beings and they're sharing this planet with us. So we need to take that into account, and we need to be kind to animals. So no more of this objectifying animals and just factory farming them and not caring about the fact that pigs have as much intelligence as children and so on and so forth. So we're going to be kind to animals. And while we're doing that, so then we're going to have to rely a lot more on plants. So then we're going to have to stop pesticiding the earth and eating plants that have been sprayed with this or that or the other, or killing all the bees and something. So we're going to have to go absolutely organic and learn how to actually eat what is good for us. So that settles that. Then we need to actually welcome diversity.
and celebrate the richness of people's races and their ethnicity, their cultures, their whatever. Celebrate. I agree with Fran when she said disability is then a non-starter, because everybody's abilities will be what we concentrate on in our society, and there will be space for all religions or no religions, and everybody's going to have to be tolerant of saying, I don't care what you believe in, you're absolutely entitled to your own beliefs, just don't push them down my throat. Right, I don't know quite how you're going to work that out, but anyway, magically you're going to have all Gaza and Israel living close together as neighbors, and you're going to be respectful of people's different life choices, as long as they do no harm, because you don't want to open the door to some very odd life choices, but as long as you're not doing any harm to anybody else, I think that's what I want to stress. And then the final thing then is education. Well, at least, and everybody's health is as good as it can be and not pushed to extremes. I don't want to have people made up of robot this and AI that and all that sort of thing. When your life is done, just pack it in, all right? That's fine. Death is part of life. And then education. We've gone off our children need, and I haven't got any, the children of the world need to have an education that focuses on their creativity and their curiosity. Their creativity and their curiosity, and in whatever it is. But yes, reading and stories and books and maths and all this sort of thing, but only if if their teachers can arouse their curiosity in whatever it is, the environment or whatever it is, or science or whatever it is, or physics or what is beyond the solar system. But anyway, to arouse children's curiosity and forget these flipping exams that you've all revised for till you're blue in the face. You have to find another way of celebrating a child's success or a child's learning or whatever it is. Because I was once a teacher, but I left teaching because it was so awful. So anyway, so that's, first of all, and so that everybody can enjoy their perfect days, we really need a world in which perfect days are the norm, yes, and the perfect. And I would, for my personal private personal perfect day, would be with my loved one on a vegan cruise down a lovely river and stopping at interesting cities and going and seeing what was going on, and then coming back to the boat at night and having this, all the food there was vegan, and the coffee machine knew that you only wanted oat or soya milk, and perhaps have a dance, because she likes dancing, perhaps have a dance in the evening with the friendly ship's crew and the vegan passengers. And at the end of a lovely day, have a cup of soya latte and a good book to finish off the day. So that would be my perfect world, because I'm not going to stop until we get things better, and we need to get things better. So that's it. Perfect day in a perfect world from Sue.